Hello everybody and welcome back to the final part of Let's Play Mega Man, Dr. Wily's Revenge. So we just beat the first Dr. Wily stage, so now we move to the final, the ultimate Dr. Wily stage, taking place in space, you know, to give us a little bit of variety, I guess, in the setting, even though, yep, since there's no story in the game, setting doesn't really make sense. Where are you going? Yeah, okay, there we go. So yeah, this level, pretty much more of the same. I like it a little bit more than the first level for reasons that, you know, I'll explain when we get there. One thing I don't really like is that they make you use carry so much. It just seems like carry is that platform. It just seems like a way to artificially lengthen the game. But other than that, I don't really have any complaints. Except for the fact that I always get hit right there. So yeah, this is, without a doubt, the hardest level of the 6, I guess, which is kind of strange to say. Only 6 levels in a Mega Man game. But yeah, it's relatively difficult, and it will take you some practice before you end up to the point where you can beat it without losing any lives, or actually just beat it at all, really. So, the problem is that most of those deaths come in kind of cheap or unfair ways, like when you're falling down and you can't see what's coming, and then you just land on a spike pit. So you really got to memorize where those things are, which is kind of a dickish way of artificially increasing the difficulty. But, you know, when has Mega Man ever not been dickish about its own difficulty? Now, you saw on the last screen, there was one of those puzzles with the disappearing and reappearing blocks. Every Mega Man game, I think it's mandated by some bylaw in Japan, every Mega Man game has to have one of those puzzles that's really difficult. That was not it, but we will see one later. And I guess I'll see that guy later too, because I'm not going to waste any more ice trying to freeze him. I'm not going to waste any more ice, like I'm some kind of rapper. Anyway, yeah, so this part, it's essential for you to use the ice to freeze them. Otherwise, you're going to get hit probably at least on one of the 3, more likely on 2 out of 3. The first one is relatively easy to avoid, but the next one's well worth your time and well worth the minimal ice investment, considering you never really use it again for the rest of the game, so you might as well use it now, to be honest. So this is the puzzle that, you know, if you're not like me and have hair, may cause you to pull it out the first couple of times you play. It's that jump where you have to land below and then jump up above where the platform is going to be. This is not, I mean, if you guys have been watching me play Super Meat Boy, you know this is something that's common in Super Meat Boy. The problem is when you mess up a jump like that in Mega Man, you have many minutes to replay as opposed to only a few seconds. So, I made it through on the first try there, luckily, but believe me, that is not always the case. And what's this Joker doing? He just kind of rushes at you and then, just freeze time and get away from him. Again, freeze time, something you're not really gonna need for the rest of the game, so you don't feel obliged to just use the Mega Buster for everything at this point in the game. There's only 2 weapons you really need at this point, and that's Quick Boomerang and the Mirror Buster, but you can't really use the Mirror Buster at this point anyway. For reasons that will become clear once we reach the final boss, the Wily Machines, as I call them. So yeah, again, this is nothing we haven't seen before, using the super cutters here with the saws also coming out. The only problem is there's more of them now, so you've got to be a little bit more vigilant in the way that you freeze them and then kill them. You can't just freeze them and walk under. You know, ice, really important on this level. At least for the first part of it, not so much for the end, but for now it's essential. Because basically you're trading ice for health that you would have lost. Now, normally, on the next screen coming up, you can use Firestorm, you'll see here in a second, and kill the bird and the egg it drops, and just kind of farm health and weapons here. It's not really necessary with the amount of health and weapons that I have right now, but I've done that before. The first time I beat the game, I had to sit there and farm for a couple minutes. Thankfully, I didn't have to do it there, because that would have been pretty boring on camera. Yeah, you could also do it on this screen if you wanted to, although it's a little bit less convenient because the ladder's on the wrong side. Alright, so if you need a 1-up or some health, you can use Atomic Fire to bust up these right here. No slides, so you gotta break both of them, unfortunately. But yeah, you can get that small piece of health and the 1-up. If you use carry to go up here and you do the same thing with atomic fire and break these blocks, you can get a lot of weapon refills here, but the main reason you want to go this way is just because you have to deal with a lot less enemies. So yeah, those weapon power-ups are not really necessary at this point, but the ability to have like a relatively safe way down is pretty important, particularly when spikes are involved. They can take you from full health to no health, basically instantly. So we're reaching the denouement of this level, at least until we get to the bosses. Not a whole lot left that can really present much of a challenge to us. If you use electricity on these parts, it's, you know, a cakewalk. You don't really need electricity for any other parts in this level that are remaining, so you might as well waste it now, unless you want to be, you know, Super Mega Man hardcore and only use the Mega Buster. In which case, you know, you do it to yourself. So yeah, we'll pick up the extra life here, and then we'll get down to business, fighting the first of 2 Dr. Wily forms. So for this one, you're going to want Quick Boomerang. First form, pathetically simple. All you got to do is stand right about where I am and jump every second saw. As long as you keep filling them up with Quick Boomerang, you'll be perfectly fine. Sometimes you'll get hit, you'll get the odd hit, but for the most part, you're going to be safe. The only danger I was in there was really running into a saw on the way back myself. So for the second form, you're going to want to use the Mirror Buster that you got by beating Anchor on the last part. What you're going to do is reflect the lasers that Dr. Wily shoots at you, while avoiding the claw. And the easiest way to avoid the claw is to stand in the middle until it comes after you and then just run away. So this is not an advanced or high-level Mega Man strategy, even though I'm kind of getting my ass handed to me right now. Really, Dr. Wily is kind of a letdown in this game. He's not as hard as you might expect if you're, you know, familiar with the game. As I very, very nearly die, but in any case, yeah, not bad. Success on the first try, and we get the iconic Dr. Wily, please, please forgive me pose. That is actually lampooned to great success in Mega Man 9. But anyway, I'm going to stop here. Thank you for watching this quick Let's Play, guys. I'll see you in the next one.